Hello, friends. Today is the middle of the week, at the beginning of December 3rd, 2025. Today is day 789. We've been doing these daily videos for 789 days since the attacks on the south of Israel by Hamas on October 7th, 2023. We will continue to do daily video updates through the end of the year. And then starting January 1st, 2026, we'll only be doing our weekly summaries that we've been doing every Thursday. So on Thursdays, there'll be a summary of news from the past week. We do those now. We've done those the past 2+ years. But moving forward in the new year, we'll no longer do the daily videos. News from the last 24 hours in terms of negotiations. The Rafah crossing will open in the next few days. That's supposed to be coordinated with Egypt under the supervision of the EU mission. This is according to COGAT, the coordination body of the Israeli Defense Forces, the army unit that's responsible for facilitating aid to Gaza. That was just announced. That's significant news. Israeli forensic services concluded that the remains handed over by Hamas yesterday were not those of one of the last two hostages in Gaza, according to Netanyahu's office. And Netanyahu said yesterday that in a good spirit of understanding, an agreement can be reached with the Syrians, but we are standing by our principles. On Monday, President Trump said on social media, it's very important that Israel maintain a strong and true dialogue with Syria, and nothing takes place that will interfere with Syria's evolution into a prosperous state. According to two U.S. officials during a call between Trump and Netanyahu on Monday, Trump told Netanyahu to take it easy on Syria, saying the new leadership is trying to get it to a better place. That was according to the Wall Street Journal and also to reports by Axios. Netanyahu on Monday asked President Trump for more support in his push for a pardon from Israeli President Herzog. This is according to U.S. officials and an Israeli official. President Trump told Netanyahu that he thinks the pardon will work out, but did not commit to any further steps, one U.S. official said. On Gaza, Trump said that Netanyahu should be a better partner in implementing the peace agreement, to which Netanyahu said he's doing the best that he can. That was also according to Axios. Representatives from all 15 member states of the UN Security Council are set to travel for a 4-day trip to Syria and Lebanon. Members of the Security Council will meet with the Syrian president, Ahmad al-Shara. That's going to happen in Damascus. In Lebanon, they'll meet with President Aoun, the prime minister, and the Shia member or speaker of parliament. They'll travel south to see UNIFIL's headquarters. UNIFIL, you'll recall, is the UN peacekeeping force and the commander of the armed forces. Security Council's last visit to the region was in 2019 when it visited Iraq and Kuwait. Over 200 popular and central figures have banded together and called for the release of Marwan Barghouti, a jailed Palestinian leader. He was arrested during the Second Intifada. He was sentenced to lifetime in prison. He spent over 23 years being incarcerated. He's widely known as someone who's considered to be the best hope and potential with the power to unite the Palestinian people and to lead them to establishing a Palestinian state. Some of the figures that make up the group calling for his release include Margaret Atwood, Ian McKellen, Paul Simon, and many others. After being convicted in what was described as an unfair trial, Marwan Barghouti has spent 23 years in prison. Despite the recent agreement of prisoner swaps, Israel has refused to release him. The statement the group releases states, "We express our grave concern at the continuing imprisonment of Marwan Barghouti, his violent mistreatment, the denial of legal rights while imprisoned. We call upon the United Nations and governments of the world to actively seek the release of Marwan Barghouti from Israeli prison." Over the past couple of years, I've met with his wife and some of the members of his family, and I have heard about their grave concerns at the conditions of him as a prisoner and many others who are incarcerated by the Israeli military regime. Now, we've talked previously about the Bedouin community that lives in the South Hebron Hills of El Susia, that area, El Khair, the South Hebron Hills. The Israelis recently declared the village of El Khair as a military zone, a closed military zone, which has severe implications. It means community members are not allowed to come and go as they please. There are severely restricted access in terms of mobility and movement. And one of our connections in the Middle East, in Bethlehem, a ministry called Holy Land Trust is partnering with Khair, and they identified three urgent needs for the Bedouin community in Khair in the South Hebron Hills. It's Area C in the occupied West Bank. And what they're asking for is three things: a mobile clinic that'll cost about $10,000. For years, 4 dedicated doctors have traveled to the village of Khair each week to check on patients. But examinations have had to take place inside a city council office, a space with no privacy. Women, especially those who are pregnant, need sensitive checkups, cannot be examined comfortably or safely. With the $10,000, they'll reestablish medical services that bring privacy, dignity, and care to the people of Khair and to their doorsteps for elderly parents, children, and women, and especially for those unable to travel. It's more than medicine. It's respect and a sign that someone sees them. They're asking for $5,000 for basic medical supplies, bandages, medicines, first aid kits, health supplies, not luxuries, but essential needs. The contributions will mean immediate relief, pain relief, and helping to strengthen individuals to continue in their daily lives with dignity. And finally, they're asking for 35 tons of firewood. With the cost of those is about $500 per ton. As cold winds approach, households at Khair, they'll have freezing nights. Providing firewood means warmth, security, and a sense of home in a season where every family should feel safe and cared for. Holy Land Trust says, and we agree, that they believe in the power of community and shared responsibility to help hold each other up. When you give, you're not just donating money, you're offering care, hope, and a tangible sign that we walk together. And that has been what we seek to do at Churches for Middle East Peace. We say educate, elevate, and advocate. We want to elevate ministries and organizations like Holy Land Trust, and so many others that are doing incredible work seeking to respond to the needs of those who are suffering in the occupied Palestinian territories and in other parts of the Middle East. May God go before us in the name of Christ. Amen.